Hey, you egg hunters. I hope you're excited to do your egg hunt today. We're going to review a little bit of whole number times decimals here in a second, but I want to look at decimal times decimal today. Remember that a decimal is just like a fraction. They're one and the same. So when we're talking about multiplying a decimal by a decimal, I want you to think back to fractions. When we multiplied fractions less than 1, we knew our product would be less than 1, right? We were getting a part of a part. So when we're looking at 5/10 times 7/10, we want to say the same thing we did with fractions, because the times symbol in mathematics is the word of. We're going to say 5/10 of 7/10. So we're getting a part of 7/10. We know that our product is going to be less than 1 because we're getting a part of a number that is less than 1. Do you remember all that? Okay, so I have these directions written just like we did with fractions. Just like it, I promise. You're going to go, oh yeah, I remember that. All right, so first we're going to color the first decimal vertically, and that's 5/10. And I'm going to pick up a different color, and I'm going to do my slashes all in the same direction. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 1/10. Two tenths. 3/10. Ooh, those were bad. 4/10. And 5/10. Go ahead and pause the video to catch up to what I just did in your interactive notebook, and then just hit play and pick back up. All right, so we wrote 5/10 first. Now horizontally, we're going to put the second color. Do a little Easter colors here. I wonder if we have. Yeah, we'll do purple. All right, so now I'm doing 7/10 horizontally. So here's 1/10. 2/10. 3/10. 5/10. 6/10. 7/10. All right, so this is modeling 5/10 of 7/10 because the section you colored twice is your answer, just like fractions. So we are looking here, and I'm going to look at it as an array instead of counting, because you can make easy mistakes by just sitting there tapping a bunch of squares, but whatever works for you, my friends. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 7 this way. So if I multiplied 5 times 7, I would come out with 35, but it's not 35 wholes, it's 35 hundredths. Okay? And I know my product is less than 1. I knew that already. We talked about that because we were looking for a part, 5/10 of a part, 7/10. And now we're going to check with standard algorithm because it's easy to make mistakes on models. So if I were to multiply 0.5, we don't do that, 5/10 times 7/10. As we learned, you kind of ignore your decimal points and look at them as whole numbers for a minute. And so we would look at it as 35 because 5 times 7 is 35. And then as we learned with multiplying a decimal by a whole number, we're looking for place value positions. So we have a tenth here times a tenth here. And we learned in class before all this craziness started that it's times 10 for every place value position. So if we have two place value positions, that's 10 times 10, which is 100, right? So we go 10, 100, hundredths. Do you remember that? All right, so it matches. I want you to pause and make sure you have everything written down on your interactive notebook that I have, because you are going to upload your interactive notebook for me today, just like we did on our last lesson, so I can see that you did it. So pause, make sure you're caught up with me, and then we're going to move on to a review of whole number by decimal. Okay, so whole number by a decimal. We have 3 times 15 hundredths. So you're going to say 3 groups of 15 hundredths. So go ahead and say that. All right, so we've already learned that you're going to color in the decimal, which will be your first group. So we're going to color in a 15 hundredths. So there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hundredths. Then we're going to color in the second group. With a different color. Ignore the fact that I wrote, oh, yeah, you know what? That might confuse you, so I'm going to keep writing this in purple. Second group. In a different color. So pick up a different color pencil. We have 5, 15, and then you're going to color groups until you have the correct number of groups. McLean. And I accidentally dropped one of my tens. Okay, I'm going to color in one more 15 hundredths. So there's 10, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to back that up just a little bit. All right, you have groups. The decimal tells how many in each group. In other words, this is group 1, this is group 2, this is group 3. All right, and all together we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 5 hundredths. Make sure the decimal point shows. All right, so you have a nice example of both in your interactive notebook to use as you do your work. So go ahead again, pause, make sure that yours looks just like mine. Do what you need to do, my friends.